Hey guys, this is Gloria. So I am here to share with you guys how I stamped out these little girls that I made for my planner, as well as, when I was just playing around with them. This one was actually done with watercolor. And then I'm sorry, that one was done with alcohol ink. This one was done with watercolor. And then the one that I shared with you guys that's in my planner with the glasses on, she was also done with watercolor. Both of them are very simple to do. It's just the ink that you use will determine what medium you use. So today I'm going to show you guys with my alcohol markers, because it's a little easier for me to do because I don't have the water here with me to do the watercoloring. But I like the way both of them come out, either the watercolor or the alcohol markers. Tonight I'll be using these pro markers, and I have just 4 colors: tan, I have cinnamon, I have umber for the hair, and then I have this baby pink. And as I always tell you guys, I am no way very good colorist. I don't even know like all that shading and light source and all that good stuff. I just do what is pleasing to the eye. And then I have just a regular pencil, because you do have to color in or create the hair. So I just use a pencil, or I'll just freehand it. I'm also going to use the Tuxedo Black Memento ink, because I'm going to do alcohol markers. I just have a piece of Canson watercolor paper. I'll either use that, or I'll use the Georgia Pacific from Walmart, whichever one is handy. I also have this Maggie Holmes, and this is what I use to put the bow in the hair. And then, of course, I'm going to use the Jane Davenport stamp set that you can get from Michael's, and then my Stamp Perfect. So let's get started. So I'm just going to put my paper in there and use the magnets. And I'm just going to start with the face. And I'm just going to line it up where I want it. And you just have to remember that you need space up top for the hair. So I'm just kind of lining it up towards the bottom. Hope I'm in frame. And then, you just close that down on top and pick up your stamp. So I'm going to ink that up. And as I said before, the great thing about using the Stamp Perfect is that you can stamp it over and over again if it doesn't stamp out the way you want it to stamp out. My ink is getting a little bit dry, so I don't know how it's going to stamp out, but we'll see. And I just press it down good. And looks like I had a little ink transfer right here, but that's okay, because you can always come back in and fix that with a little bit of shading. So it's not very dark, because like I said, my Tuxedo black ink is not that new. Just gonna clean up where I got the ink where I don't want the ink. Try to ink that up. Uh-oh. Just be careful. Ink that up again and press it down. Love this Stamp Perfect. And so that's pretty dark. Hope you guys can see that. So that's okay with me. So I'm just going to go with that and clean off my little stamp here. And so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to do, I can do her eyes. And again, if you want them to be winking, what you're going to do is you're going to only stamp up one of the eyelids. Some people cut theirs in half, but I don't cut mine in half. You're just going to line the eyes up, and I line it up where it's right underneath where the eyebrows are. And I can't really see it, so I gotta bring it close to me, but you'll line it up and then close it down. Make sure that it's stuck where you want it. And again, I'm only going to ink up one side so that we can have her winking on the opposite side. I really like the way that looks with the little winking eye. So just ink up one of the eyes, whichever one, you know, whichever side you want her to wink on. Just ink that up. Matter of fact, let's ink up the other one because that's the one I did before. So let's do the other side instead. Let's have her winking on this side now. And just ink it up really good. Clean up. And close that down. And so that's how that looks with one stamped image. Sorry guys, I don't have that much room on my desk. That's why I don't do a lot of tutorials, because it's kind of hard for me to work on this small desk and try to work around the camera. So pardon me. Let's ink it up and try it again. And so that's better with the darker with that darker, you know, it's better when you stamp it twice. So that's what it looks like with one eye there. And I'm sure if you're into mixed media, you can do something with one eye and one nose and half of a lip. But anyway, so we'll take even a different eye, or this may be the same eye, I'm not sure. Yeah, this may be the same eye. So what you want to do is you just want to line up the eyes again, and this time you want to make sure that your eyes line up with the eye that's closed already, the one that you already stamped. And if you don't do this where you stamp out a winking eye, then all you have to do is just, you know, ink up both sides of your stamp, and you don't have to worry about doing it the way that I'm doing it. But this is the way I'm going to share with you guys tonight, because I just thought it was cute. So I'm just going to ink that up. I'm just getting ink everywhere tonight. Okay. And then close it down. And then we're going to do it one more time. We can get as black of an image as we possibly can. There we go. So that's a good image. So now we got her winking on one side. And now we can move on to her nose. You can make the nose whichever one you want. I used this first little one right here, if you can see that one. That's the one that I normally use. That's the one I like. So I have that one. And I just line it up. And you, uh-oh, I'm smearing my ink, Lord. Okay, so you gotta be real careful when you're using this ink, because it may not be dry and you don't want to go smearing your ink like I'm doing here. But just clean this up and stamp that down and do it again. Hey guys, this is Gloria. So I am back. I'm sorry about that. I filmed this video and then I had to delete some videos because I ran out of space on my phone. So I'm gonna try to pick up where I left off. What I did was I stamped out the eyes and the nose, and now I'm gonna stamp out the lips. And the lips that I'm using from the Jane Davenport face stamp is this one right down here. You can use any combination you want, but this is the one that I used on the other girl stamp that I did, so I'll use the same one. And all you're going to do is just line it up where you want it. And I'm just lining it up. And you're just going to close down, you know. And you can use a block as well. You don't have to use a stamp machine. It just works a lot better when you use one. And also, you could actually stamp the nose and the lips and the eyes at the same time. You don't have to do it step by step like I'm doing. It's just a little easier for me, but yeah, you can stamp it all out at the same time if you want. So I'm just going to ink up my stamp again. And of course, I don't have my little baby wipe handy, so let me just grab a little baby wipe from over here so that I can clean off. I am a messy stamper, guys, so I have to always kind of clean up. And then let's just stamp down her mouth. And that is how her mouth looks. And that looks pretty good, you know, but using the Stamp Perfect, you can always go back and, you know, re-ink and re-stamp. So that's pretty much her face, guys. That's about all that I do. And then for the hair, you know, it's up to you. You can freestyle the hair, which is what I pretty much do. You could use a pencil to color, or I'm sorry, draw out the hair first before, my little thing just fell. But let's see, I don't know if I have a pencil handy. I don't really see one right now. I don't know what happened to my pencil. I had one sitting up here, but anyway, so it just depends on how you want the hair to look. So, you know, on my different girls, I had different hair on each one. This was one here where I put a ribbon in her hair and I just put a bun up top. And then this is the other one where I had a bun as well as some bangs on her. So, I mean, you could do it however you want. For this, I'm just going to use this Pro Marker. It is the umber color, and it's like a dark brown. And I'm just going to, hopefully I'm in frame, I'm just going to use these little lines that's right here on the side of her head. I'm going to use that as my guide to make her some bangs. So all I'm going to do is just kind of go up and down just like that and create like a little bang shape. And then, you know, most of us have hair coming from, you know, right at the top of our ears. And so I'm just going to connect to where the top of the ear little thing here is, and over on this side as well. And then I'm going to use this little line right up here. I'm going to use that as my mark or my guide to where I want to put my little bun. And I'm just going to just kind of spiral and make my little bun up top just like that. And then I'm just going to connect all of that together with my little alcohol marker or whatever medium you are using. It's very simple. And then what I'm going to do is just use strokes to kind of mimic the hair down here where the bangs are. And you'll see that she'll start kind of looking like she has actual hair in a minute. Now, if you wanted to do the bow, I would have suggested that you already just stamp out the bow. And I forgot to stamp my bow out, but I would have stamped my bow right where I wanted it. And then I would have not colored in that area so that I can color it in with a different marker. And so anyway, all you do is you just kind of go over the areas that you did before. And I'm just going to use the same kind of stroke method. Okay. So I'm going to leave the hair alone for a little bit, and then I'm going to go to her skin, and I'm going to use this tan marker. It's just color tan, and it's a Pro Marker. And I'm going to go ahead and color in her face. And you guys know I don't do any fancy coloring or anything like that. I just do whatever is pleasing to my eye. And I like this color tan because it's, it's a nice brown color. It looks like my skin complexion, so that's the reason why I use it. And I'm just going to go right up in between where I made those marks for her bangs. And just kind of color her in. If you were using color markers, not color markers, but alcohol markers or watercolor markers, it doesn't matter what you use, just color it in, and whatever looks good to you. Like I told you guys before, I don't know all of that stuff about light source and all that. I really don't. I wish I did. I mean, I would love to know the proper way to color images and stuff like that so that it'll look, more 3D and stuff like that. But right now, I don't know how, so I just do what's pleasing to me. So I'm just coloring her face in, just making sure that it's all colored in. And we're going to go back with some more color, so, it doesn't have to be perfect the first go around. We're just trying to just fill it in with some color. And, this stamp is a pretty large stamp, so just going to take all the color where I want it to be. And so, right now it looks kind of streaky. That's how it looks right now. It's kind of streaky. And then I'm going to use this baby pink Pro marker to color in her lips. And also I'm going to color in her cheeks right in here. And I'm also going to color in right above her eyes. And then I'm going to go back with my tan marker and I'm going to color on top of all of that once again and kind of blend that color out a little bit better. So I'm just going over everything that I colored before, trying not to get inside of her eye at this point. Just kind of coloring all of it in. I won't color in her lips, but I will make sure that I color right underneath. I'm coloring her neck area. And I like this combination as well with the baby pink being underneath the tan, because it you can still see it, but it tones down that baby pink a whole lot where it's not so pink. But if you want it to be like, super pink, then by all means don't go back in and color over it. You can keep it as bright as you want, because it's your drawing and you can do what you want to do. So now that is her second coat of paint over her whole face and over the baby pink as well. I think it looks really pretty. Now I'm going to go back with the umber color again, and I'm just going to go right where her eye is and color that in and give her some nice pretty brown eyes. That's going to match her hair. And then I'm going to go back in with that same marker, and I'm just going to put more streaks in her hair. And now I'm just trying to kind of covering up the white area, but because I let that first color dry, it's going to kind of make it look like I used a different color marker. So that is her little messy hair and her little face. And then, you know, you can always take a white gel pen and go back in and clean up the whites of her eyes to make sure that they are, you know, nice and white and bright. And if you want, you can go back over her lips with the pink, and you can also use glitter glue to put glitter on top of her eyelids and stuff like that. I know that someone had a question about how I did her eyeglasses on one of the pictures that I have inside of my planner. And those were some chipboard type of eyeglasses that I purchased from Michael's a long time ago in their dollar spot section. And they just happened to be the right size, but they were brown in color and my glasses are black. So what I did was I just used my ink and I put black ink pretty much on top of the glasses, and then I hot glued those on top of my picture so that she'll have glasses on. With her earrings, I just used some glitter glue and put glitter glue on her ears to mimic the earrings. Another thing that I did was I went in and I put the moles on her face where they are on my face, which is here and here, and then I have one here. So that's all I did. I just, you know, made her kind of look like me, just resemble me, and I think it's a lot of fun. You can do the hair any way that you want to do the hair, however you want to do it. It's really, really simple. The last thing that I always do with all of my pictures is I take a gray marker, which I don't have out right now, but I take a gray marker and just outline the entire thing with a really, really light gray marker, and it makes the image kind of pop up off the page. So that's another little trick that you can do if you didn't know about that. But that's about it, guys. That is how I made my little girl image that I shared in my planner, as well as the ones that I shared that's sitting here on my desk. You know, they all come out a little different every time. So this is the one that I just did here, and then this is the first one that I did right here. And as you can see, the faces are a little bit different, but they're still super cute. And then this is the one with the bow in her hair. And again, her, you know, she looks a little bit different than this one, and she's winking on the opposite side, which is cute. But yeah, so that's all you do. That is all you do. And so I hope that helps someone. If you guys have any more questions or comments, please leave them down below, and I'll get back with you as soon as I possibly can. Take care, guys. Bye.